This is KUTV, Channel 2, Salt Lake City, Utah, and it is time now for the Scene at 5, Wednesday, January 9, 1974. Here now, Peter Wiggins. Good evening, everybody. I'm Peter Wiggins, and here's what's happening. In San Clemente, California, the White House says traditional political considerations, but not as campaign contributions, influenced President Nixon's 1971 decision to boost milk price imports. And supports it kept the lid on tapes and documents involved in an incident. Acknowledged that politics figured in the controversial decision was made in one of the two white papers issued Tuesday to counter charges that contributions swayed Nixon in the milk case, and an antitrust suit involving an international telephone and telegraph corporation. Although the White House at one time considered making its public summaries of tapes and papers bearing in the two cases that said such a step was vetoed because Nixon feels strongly about the maintaining the confidentiality of presidential files. The tapes and documents already have been given. A special Watergate prosecutor, Leon Jaworski, said that the White House expressed hope that the federal grand jury will be respected confidentiality of these materials. The carefully prepared and detailed white papers made those key arguments of defense of Nixon's conduct. Milk prices under Democratic leadership. Congress was about to pass a bill ordering and higher price supports, and Nixon could not veto it without alienating farmers, an essential part of his political constitution. He ignored Biden's 1972 campaign contributions that the three largest dairy corporators. He did not discuss them with the dairy leaders or with advisors who would help him reach his decision. ITT Nixon intervened only one in the ITT antitrust case after former aide John D. Ehrlichman told him that the Justice Department was about to act contrary to Nixon's personal philosophy. He withdrew the intervention 2 days later, after John and Mitchell, then Attorney General, reasoned that the otherwise Aaron and Griswold might resign as Solicitor General. All this took place before ITT pledged financial support in the 1972 Republican National Convention held in San Diego, California. The two statements of the White House made public with scanned events notice apparently ended in the so-called Operation Cinder disclosure that began with the release last month of Nixon's tax returns that said that they knew of no further statements concerning Watergate-related matters. Ralph Nader and others are suing Nixon on that because they contended an increased milk price report in return for $427,000 in campaign donations from the three biggest dairy co-ops. The milk case statement said there are no mention of campaign contributions at a much strengthened 1971 meeting of Nixon and dairy leaders. The White House said later that day that Nixon met on the support issue was given advisors and the political power and the dairy industry lobby was brought to the president's attention. It was said that he was told that the legislature to increase the support level that the support of the House Speaker called Albert Democrat of Oklahoma and Chairman Wilbur Mills, Democrat of Arkansas, as the House Ways and Means Committee of two of the most powerful legislatures in the country. John B. Connally, then Secretary of the Treasury, was quoted as saying dairy votes would be important in several Midwestern states and that the industry planned to contribute in 1972 congressional campaigns. Neither the Secretary nor anyone else discussed possible contributions to the president's campaign and said the White House. The 17-page statement continued. The president himself concluded that the legal decision came down to the fact that Congress was going to pass a higher support legislation and he could not veto without alienating the farmers, essential part of that. In San Clemente, California, President Nixon observes his 61st birthday today, starting with an early morning telephone call to daughter Julia in Washington, and he told her that it's going to be a good year, a better year. She told reporters that the president sounded very happy. Shortly before the president called his daughter, Mrs. David Eisenhower, she had accepted him 2 large birthday cards from the National Greeting Card Association paying tribute to Nixon as a peacemaker. Aides said the 13-day stay by the president has been marked by concerted work. Millions seclusion enters its aides by telephone. Miami Beach, Florida. Hospital officials say 6-year-old Judy Dietrich is receiving naturally from heart surgery, and they told his parents that the $4,000 bill could be taken care of. Officials at St. Francis Hospital in Miami Beach say that they picked up the tab for Judy's care, and surgeons James B. Judah and Erwin B. Percho said they donated their skills. He is doing just fine, and they should be going home in about a week, as hospital spokesman said of Judy's operation for a faulty heart valve on Monday. Henry Dietrich, a horse trainer, said that more than $4,000 donated to pay for his son's operation would be given to the hospitals in neighboring Broward County where the family lives. Judy should take back to school about 2 weeks and started to ride his bicycle for 4 weeks, the hospital spokesman said. The trust fund for Jody was established in last November after Variety Children's Hospital in Miami refused to admit the boy. The parents and the hospital turned them down because they did not have an insurance on the money to cover the cost of the operation. The hospital later and the Dietrich were misunderstood and were merely told that deepest would be required because they had no insurance. Doctors said today about the operation Jody had no hope of living a normal life and could have died. Faulty heart valve prevented enough blood from the circulating fat of the boy's body to nourish him as he grew. President Nixon, the Senate major, personal message to the head of major European governments, Canada and Japan, and invited him to a February 11th meeting in Washington to discuss possible solutions to solve the energy crisis the Western White House announced today. The president also sent personal means to the heads of the Arab and Asian oil-producing countries informing them of the conference and suggesting that the oil-producing and consuming nations meet together at a later date. The countries Nixon involved in the attended Washington conference also included West Germany, Great Britain, Italy, the Netherlands, and Norway. Also invited was the Secretary General for the Organization of Economic Cooperation for Development, a spokesman at the Western White House said. Messages also sent to the following oil-producing states to attend the meeting at a later date: Abu Dhabi, Algeria, Ecuador, Gabon, Indonesia, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Libya, Nigeria, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Venezuela. Kissinger raised the possibility of a global depression unless the oil-producing and consuming nations set together in a common policy. The world's major oil supplying nations decided today that to freeze the price of crude oil at present levels until April 1st. There was no decrease in the price of crude oil of April 1st. Iran Finance Minister Jamson Amasakar told newsmen. And Nogar made the statement following a 5-hour meeting of ministers from the 12 member states of the Organization of Petroleum and Exporting Countries, OPEC, which together supply 85% of the world oil imports. Energy Chief William E. Salmon said today that he would order refineries to produce more gasoline to meet the summer driving needs as the heating of oil production reaches a safe level. Washington, the cost of running the U.S. government in the next fiscal year will be exceed $300 billion more than the combined federal budgets from the founding of the Republic of World War II. The proposed jump in the federal spending past the $300 billion mark comes despite President Nixon's pledge to a year ago told outlays to a bill of $288 billion. It also marks the 6th straight year that the government will spend more than it collects in revenues. Budget Director Roy Ashton, in an interview Tuesday with the UPR, said at $6 to $10 billion in the 1975 fiscal year that began on July the 1st. Washington turned away from a scattergun approach. Government trespassers now plan regular searches for the possible antitrust violations for the nation's major industries. The new practice could lead to more government lawsuits challenging the structure of the entire industries, and Assistant Attorney General Thomas E. Copper headed the Justice Department's Antitrust Division. In an interview Tuesday, Copper also said that he see Newark's acceptable way to shield the division from political pressure in defending President Nixon's intervention in the ITT case. He said government lawyers had taken quite a hard look at powerful agriculture cooperatives and said that it found hostile evidence that major oil companies cooperated to create a fuel shortage in order to drive up prices and profits. As for the division's overall approach, Copper said it does need to be a much more systematic notion in what we're doing in industry by industry. You need a little more of the strategy and perhaps a little less of the supply resulting in a complaint. In the past, he said it is practice of then to bring a case here, bring a case there without a clear goal and a analysis of the economic impact. The reverse of the direction the division was reorganized recently to stress economic plan, and the new approach may have a strong impact on concentrated industries where a handful of companies still need to the market. He said. Copper said that the new approach influences antitrust laws will conduct a regular review of the price and profits in an industry, memorizing a number of industry. Salt Lake County will be divided into 15 communities, each with its own elected 5-person council of the Salt Lake County Governance Study Commission, and plans that has proved its vote. Craig Worth has a report. The Study Commission chose a 15 community plan from among alternatives ranging from 11 to 21 communities at this Tuesday night meeting at the City County building. The crucial question of community boundaries was temporarily answered with a map approved by the Study Commission. Commission staffers emphasized that changes in the boundaries may be made later in the basis of the community input. Population of the 15 communities is nearly equal. The most populous contains 31,294. The lead populous 29,656. The divergence is well within constitutional requirements according to the Commission and Council Edward McDonough. As a separate entity, Salt Lake City will cease to exist and become part of the Salt Lake City and County in the name of the new city and county government. The other 8 incorporated municipalities in the county will be free to choose whether to preserve their separate entities and merge into the new government. 915 new communities were carefully drawn into an incorporated area. Of none were divided among communities according to Commission staffer Richard Robertson. For the present, the 15 communities are designed only by number. After the new government is infected, the communities will choose their own names. 4 of the new communities will be boundaries of the present Salt Lake City. Purse of Salt Lake City parts will be fall in 3 other communities. Each community will elect 4 members of the community council, which will meet monthly in a public place and discuss community affairs. In addition, each community will elect a representative by the county council, which will wield the legislative powers of the new city county government. According to the charters, members of the community councils will receive $300 per year. The representative will be the county council will receive $3,000 per year. In addition, he will serve as a chairman in the council in this community for which he receive another $300. Does Salt Lake City have the authority to deny the insurance of a business license to oil companies which provide favorable treatment to company-owned gas stations? Streets Commissioner Stephen M. Harmson asked that question today in the Salt Lake Commission directed by the city attorney to investigate the matter. Harmson told fellow commissioners some oil companies may be providing more gas to company stations. Gas station operators with police service stations may not be getting some the same treatment from many oil companies, Harmson observed. Harmson infiltrated the practice of favoritism appears to be an unconscionable practice. And it is an uncommissible practice, the commissioner said. I want to know it is a ground for denying a business license and it is involved. The question was put in the form of an official motion and the city attorney will begin his investigation immediately. Could voluntary reduced driving speeds in the past 2 months plus Sunday closing of gasoline stations have an effect on Utah's traffic fatalities already? Statistics point that way, but the safety officials say it's too early to tell. However, so far this year there have been 2 traffic deaths, both on Drain 4th compared with 6 to the date last year. This past